Here I am in beautiful Florida in Palm Beach, getting myself prepared for another little adventure. Today we're going to depart in the SF50 G1 this time, down from Lantana down to Turks and Caicos for a little bit of fuel, and then we're going to head down to St.Maarten, an airport I've always wanted to go into. I always watch people standing on the beach watching the aircraft come over the top very low, so I'm looking forward to that. So we're heading down there this afternoon, just getting ourselves prepared, and then we'll be heading off. But in the meantime, enjoying some of these beautiful views of the beach along Palm Beach in Florida, so can't complain. Just going to get going very shortly. A bit windy here down on the beach, but a beautiful day, almost clear skies. Temperature at the moment, it's 9:15 in the morning, and it's probably in the mid-20s, so it's going to be a warm day today. Got my shorts on, got my sunglasses on, getting myself psyched up and ready to go. So we're in the hangar at Lantana at the aviator flight training. Just getting the aircraft fueled. We're not going fully fueled because it's quite a warm day here, and the runway's not as long as we'd like it to be, but we're going to have plenty of fuel in there, so we land in Turks and Caicos with about 100 gallons of fuel on board. So all getting ourselves prepared. Lovely facility here. We've got loads of SR20, SR22s, and at the training facility here. So really, really nice down in Florida. All set, aircraft is fueled, oiled, chocks are away, got the AOA cover is stowed as well, and yes, all ready to go. We're just going to get our aircraft powered up and then head on down to Turks and Caicos first of all, and then get some fuel there. They know we're coming, we've done the Gendex, we've done the EAPIS, everything's good there, and then we'll pick up some fuel there and then head down to St.Maarten for the evening. Looking forward to it. Before we go, we're just going to pull the aircraft out slightly in quite close proximity to some aircraft that are behind us, so we don't want to jet blast them as we taxi away. So just pulling the aircraft away from the hangar slightly, making sure it's still pointed into the wind, which it is, and we'll get started in a new position and just protecting everything behind us.
Press the engine start, and we're going to look for 25% M2. We're going to make sure there's no one indication, and the light off happens within 8 seconds. So that's what we're looking for.
Out at Lantana, just heading down to the threshold of runway 10. It's a pretty warm day here. Do have a decent headwind going straight down the runway, which is going to help us for our takeoff run. So we're all set up. We got our clearance from Palm Beach, and that's all loaded into the system. We're taxiing down. We're going to give them another call, get a release, and then we'll be airborne.
Inbound for runway 10, Lantana.
I'm all set.
Alright. We're going to enter the runway and use every bit of runway.
Yeah, give them a call, make sure no one's coming in.
Lantana traffic, Vision Jet 9 Bravo Charlie is lining up runway 10, departure to the east.
Okay, I think nose wheel's aligned. I've got the brakes.
Okay.
Going to 40%.
Lantana traffic, 1 Blue Skyhawk 757 on a 2.5 mile final for runway 10, Lantana.
Looks in the green, going to full.
Full power, that's it.
Okay, we're released. Max power.
Bravo Charlie, turn left heading 090.
Left heading 090, 9 Bravo Charlie.
Okay, so we're airborne. We're speaking to Palm Beach now. They're just turning us left out over the sea. They should intercept us onto the Bahamas routing to take us over towards Freeport and then down in towards Nassau.
Okay, current pressure's looking good. Nice protection we don't need.
Yeah, so here we can see on this one that you've got the airway collapsed. So if you just push on that,
Approach, get out.
so you can expand all.
Yeah.
That's it. Now you can see where it says Mix
Ah,
A.
Mix A, yes.
Yeah, so we couldn't see Mix A on the flight plan because it was a collapsed airway.
Yes.
And so therefore if we didn't have it
Number 3
collapsed,
Charlie Whiskey, contact
then
Miami
we would have been able to see it easier and then responded to him in the correct way. But it's good that he gave us a 050 degrees to intercept the airway, so that's great. So we're on a heading now, so if we just go nav on the autopilot, then what that will do is that will keep on flying our current heading of 050 and then intercept with the GPS the 63 Victor Airway.
Very good.
So we've just initially been told to climb to 7,000 feet, which is where we are just levelling off now. And so that we don't burn a crazy amount of fuel, we basically come back to about 60 gallons per hour. And then we just accept whatever speed that gives us at the moment. It's still accelerating. Actually, it's sort of settled down now, so that's going to give us about a true airspeed of about 220 or so. But at least now we're only burning sort of 60, 65 gallons of fuel. And then we can put more power on and go into max continuous thrust a little bit later on when we're higher.
November 911 Julia Charlie, you up?
Okay, so we're now heading eastbound. We're off the coast of the United States. We can see on here that we've got ourselves just about 40 miles off the coast now, which is fantastic. Just over there you can see Freeport, and myself and Jason are climbing up now eventually to flight level 230. It kept us down quite low level for a little bit because we had another aircraft just above us, but yeah, we're climbing up through 14,000 now, getting up to flight level 230 on our way down to Turks and Caicos for a little bit of fuel before heading down to St.Maarten, the island of Freeport, climbing through 16,500, going up to flight level 270 now, and it's great. You can see the beautiful, make sure that focus is alright. There you go, see the beautiful island down there.
46 9000.
We're looking for him, 242.
And heading out just to the south of the island, and continuing across, actually almost direct to Providenciales.
Traffic in sight?
Yep, we got him over there too.
Up on our cruise level of flight level 270.
3.85.
Great harbour key out in front of us. You can see the shallow waters and the sands giving the Bahamas its
Miami
name.
Central, good day, Portugal 223,
And there we are at flight level 270,
380.
burning 65 gallons an hour and giving us ourselves a true airspeed of about 306 at the moment. A little bit of tailwind helping us along, 324 knots of ground speed, and enjoying the beautiful views of the Bahamas as we pass by.
Maintain level 350. Maintain level 350, United 420.
Miami Center, Vision Jet 469 Bravo Charlie with you, flight level 270.
Step 50 Charlie Kilo, going to maintain level 3. Center Flex Jet 323, 8.7.
Got a weather alert.
Got 42 minutes to run, and our fuel on destination or over destination is 107. We're expecting 100, so that's looking good. And we're just having a little look at the weather radar here and utilising the ability of being able to see the islands, which are very, very distinct, and being displayed on the weather radar. So what we've been discussing is that with the weather radar, we basically set it up at sort of flight level 270 where we are at the moment, with 0 degrees on the tilt, and we're just discussing that you could overlay this radar over the top of the map, or here we're sort of transposing the information. And what's happening is at the moment the weather radar at 30 to 40 miles is starting to pick up some of the land, and over here we can see some of the land as well being displayed with our 40-mile ring. And as we get closer and closer to these islands, the weather radar actually overlooks it, and the beam goes past it. Now there's no returns here because all of this is water, and as we get closer and closer to these islands, the islands start dissipating. So what we're looking at here is that if there was a lot of weather outside the window, which in fact there's hardly any weather outside the window apart from off to our right hand side, then these blobs would actually stay there and start getting closer and closer to the aeroplane. And if those blobs did stay there and get closer and closer to the aircraft, then we would know that those blobs were actually weather and not the islands, which we can transpose and see the difference between the two.
1946, flight level 330, and it's...
So we've listened to the ATIS, and we're going to load into 4 flights the procedure. So you can utilise the procedure button over here, push the procedure button, and we know that it's going to be the RMP approach for runway 10. Now one important thing to think about here is that an RMP approach in the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, and actually outside of the United States is different to an RMP approach in the United States. So in fact, in the United States they call it an RNAV approach or a GPS approach. Outside the United States we call it an RMP approach. So, and I'm sure there's other countries as well which still call them RNAVs, but in Europe and here down in Turks and Caicos, they're actually call them something different. So RMP, you can see here it's got RMP runway 10. Advil is the northernmost initial approach fix, so I'm going to tap on there. That will display it up on the screen, which is fantastic. And then 278 feet is going to be our minimas with an LNAV, VNAV descent profile.
Oh yeah.
So Jason's now going to load that approach into the system. So we got the RNAV for runway 10, and Advil is our initial approach fix. Feet, add a little bit on, and we can just load that into the system, and then it's all there ready to go. We can roll down, brief the approach, and have a look.
Okay, we're 50 miles from Oridi. After Oridi, go to Romeo Alpha Hotel Alpha Mike, and then Alpha Delta Victor India Lima for the RNP 10.
Roger, report crossing flight level 130.
Copy.
And approach United 1464, look at the push. United 1464, confirm you're at stand number 2. Hey, firm. Push and start approved. Push start approved, stand 2, United 1464.
And approach Vision Jet 469 Bravo Charlie's with you, flight level 270.
Number 4 469 Bravo Charlie, Provo approach, good day. QNH Provo 29994. After Oridi, clear direct to Raham, spelled Romeo, Alpha, Hotel, Alpha, Mike. After Raham Advil, Alpha, Delta, Victor, India, Lima. For the RP approach runway 10. What's your distance now to Oridi?
Okay, we're 60 miles to Oridi, planning to cross Oridi at flight level 080. And then after Oridi, direct to Raham, then direct to Advil for the RNAV 10 for 469 Bravo Charlie.
For 469 Bravo Charlie, all correct. Report crossing Oridi now. Correction, Oridi next. And expect no delay at this time, RMP 10.
Okay, that's copied. Expect no delay now. We'll report when crossing Oridi, 469 Bravo Charlie.
Correct. And report your indicated airspeed, total persons on board.
We have 2 souls on board. Airspeed is 175 knots.
Yep, he said indicated airspeed. So, not true airspeed. Absolutely, yeah. Good. So, we've been told to do a few things. And yeah, another thing to be aware of is that, again, we're not in America now. So, therefore, flight levels don't necessarily change at 18,000. Here, we've been told to go down to flight level 80. And we've been given the altimeter setting of 2994 after we have been told to descend to an altitude.
Vertical
so that's good.
track.
There you go, there's the vertical track. So we'd already loaded in here to go to flight level 80. The vertical track has come on and we've got 8,000 set. We've got the V path is loaded as well, and we're just waiting for the vertical path indicator to come down, and then the aircraft will start descending. And we were asked actually to slow down a little bit because there is a 737 in front of us, so therefore we've been told to fly at a slightly slower speed, which is what we were doing. So we started our descent into Providenciales. We're just starting to descend to flight level 80. So we've got making sure they've still got the standard setting on there. Passing flight level 227 at the moment. We're just managing the power so that we don't accelerate into the barber pole. Coming down at about 2,000 feet a minute. We can see here on the map that we've got a little bit of blobs over here, but to be honest, that's probably this island. Over here, looking out the window, there is a few little build-ups, but nothing too dramatic. And at the moment, we're going to Oridi, and then we were told to go to Raham, and then Advil, and we got the RNAV approach loaded in there for runway 10, and that will take us on an LNAV VNAV descent path down to runway 10 at Providenciales. And if we have a look on here, we can actually see the difference between what happens with the different types of approaches. And here, because we're not inside the United States anymore, this approach is actually called an RMP approach, but the system will still call it an RNAV approach. So an RNAV approach within the United States can also be called an RMP approach outside the United States. And we're going down through Advil, Benos, and then through Benos we're going to be descending 2,000 feet down to the mandatory 1,700 feet. Our minimas are 278 on the LNAV VNAV, and the aircraft states over there that it's going to be doing the LNAV VNAV down into runway 10. So we're following in, sounds like I think it was a United 737 in front of us, and we're on our way down.
Approach United 1464, ready to taxi with Charlie.
Into the airport.
United 1464, information Delta.
3.2, and clear to the RNAV to 10, will report Advil.
3,200 confirm?
Yes, 3,100 right now.
Roger. Number 469 Bravo Charlie, continue descent to 4,000 here. What distance to Advil?
Continue descent now down to 4,000. Distance to Advil is 37 miles.
Caicos 209 after departure, right on course, wind 0.
And United 1464, we're at 4,000.
So we're continuing our descent down to 4,000 feet now.
United 1464, taking departure
And
4,000 feet.
2994 is the altimeter setting.
1251, have a safe flight.
Just got the weather radar tilted up now about 4 degrees. And it's picking up a few CBs around.
151, confirm fully ready.
But generally in front of us at the moment, we're all good
10, Bravo.
and all clear. Heading towards Advil as a direct 2 now for the RMP approach for runway 10 into Turks and Caicos. Down at 2,000 feet now, approaching Advil. We're going to do a little turn to the right down to Benos, and then that will turn us then left onto the final approach track in towards Providenciales. A little bit of weather out there, then there is some stuff a little bit further out, but we're going to be turning
Caicos 209 up, possible traffic
before that.
That's not tight.
Whether that's further out there,
4,500
that's good.
feet starting up now.
469 Bravo. Okay, approaching Benos.
Caicos 209 and Airways 151, tight on traffic, airborne at this time 12.
Reducing power to find 140.
And if you want that 1700 to happen, you've got to arm the VNAV again, because remember we turned it off as is. So we've got 1700 and the path armed as well, so that's great.
All the way to 34, 20 miles. Request to join via the right base.
I think I'm seeing
Yeah.
before the clouds moved in.
234, approved, report 5 miles right base for runway 10.
3.5 miles from
50
Musu.
inside 10 miles final.
I copy the traffic. You will join, call you on a 5 mile right base on the way 234.
Yes, that's the VNAV glide path, perfect, coming down.
So 2 miles from the final approach fix, would I go landing gear at that point?
Yeah, I would start descending it down to 1700. It's obviously not doing it on the V path, so I would go vertical speed and start getting it going down, because it is a mandatory thing written on the chart. So it's not going down there, so let's get ourselves down there ourselves. That's fine. Yeah, and then when you've got half scale deflection on the VNAV, then you can go gear down. Yeah.
Caicos 209. 118, take safe flight to your back. 186.
Runway just starting to peak between the clouds.
Yep.
Amazing approach into here.
Bravo Charlie reporting a Muso and field in sight.
November 469 Bravo Charlie, wind 080 degrees, 13 knots, runway 10, clear to land.
Copy the wind, runway 10, clear land, 469 Bravo Charlie.
Great. We've got 3 greens, and then any time you want, you could go full flap.
Okay, ready for full flaps. 5 miles from the runway. Full flaps going in.
And you can just adjust the power so the aircraft starts slowing down towards 95, or VREF plus 10, which is going to be about 95, and then you can reapply the 25% power once you get down towards that number.
That's right, yep.
Good, looking nice.
runway 234 position.
Good.
234, 10 miles inbound.
Roger, confirm you have number 1 traffic inside.
Negative, not yet.
It's powered back up a little bit more if it's getting too low.
Bravo American
It's looking
1527,
not too
like
bad.
to push and start off, stay in 3.
Just remember these such hot temperatures, got to be
American
aware of a little bit more power might be needed.
Discretion, do not block taxiway Bravo.
Okay, but push approved between Alpha and Bravo. Do not block Bravo. American 1527.
Okay, we have our VRF plus 10 pretty much. Manage that power. 700 feet to minimums. Feet to minimums.
I got a traffic inside on the way 234.
Roger, number 2, follow and maintain on separation. He'll be vacating on India.
Okay, all the way to the end. Alright. That long.
Station guns again.
Minimums, minimums.
Slight crosswind from the left, it seems.
Yeah, there is.
Oops.
So good to give it some right rudder.
5 mile right base all the way 234.
Roger, continue.
Stop.
A bit more right rudder.
Right rudder?
That's it, put more right rudder in, that's it.
Yep. Oops.
That's it. There you go, you can still, you just need to boot that right rudder quite a lot.
Ah, okay.
That's it. And it's keeping
Before
it rolling.
69 Bravo Charlie, landing time 19er, all the way to the end, vacate on India, last taxiway on your right hand side.
Vacate on India, right at the end on the right. 469 Bravo Charlie, thank you.
80 degrees, 12 knots, 10 clear to land.
Clear to land 10 all the way 234.
Ah, someone with some bright orange batons.
Yeah, lovely.
One 118.6 of a safe flight.
Chain 6.
Okay, it's pretty windy here. We're in Turks and Caicos, getting some fuel, and then we're going to go in and pay our dues. Not going to stay here for very long. Pay our dues, and then we're going to make our way to St.Maarten, and we should get there probably in about an hour or so before sunset, so it should be quite a nice flight down. Okay, just going to jump into the little FBO that they've got here, get a coffee. Jason would like a bold and intrepid, just like himself. So we're going to go in there, grab a coffee, sort ourselves out, and then we'll be off out of here. Okay, we had to do a little bit of a dash to the aircraft. You can see here it's now pouring down with rain. We've actually pointed the aircraft more into wind, so it helps with the starting, but we're in the aircraft and all ready to go. We're going to start up and taxi out very shortly.
0 miles over, 1817 Rubinos. United 1817, Roger, report to Muso.
Report to Muso, United 1817.
Correct. Traffic Beach 1900, base final, runway.
So the ground guy has disappeared off into his little hangar, which I'm not surprised. It's pouring down with rain now. We've got ourselves nearly set. Jason's going to give a call, get our clearance,
We are ready to taxi.
and then we'll be ready to taxi
That was
shortly.
402, taxi to home point Alpha, hold shot.
9 Bravo Charlie, ready to copy clearance.
Discuss number 469 out, Bravo Charlie. Is set to Tango November Charlie Mike as far. Flight level 060 initially, squawk 4774.
November 469 Bravo Charlie, then clear to the Tango November Charlie Mike. Flight level initially 060 and squawk 4774. November 469 Bravo Charlie.
469 Bravo Charlie, read back is correct. Report souls on board, fuel endurance.
Report what?
Souls on board, so 2 on board and 4 hours fuel.
2 souls on board and
4 hours fuel.
4 hours fuel endurance. 469 Bravo Charlie.
469 Bravo Charlie, read back is correct. When ready for engine start taxi and departure, contact 1260.
Contact 1260. Thank you, 469 Bravo Charlie.
So we're backtracking down runway 10. Quite a long way to go down. It's like full length. And we do have the weather radar on, and we can see here already popped up at 10 degrees that there's some weather up off to our left hand side. Fortunately, we're going to turn around and go back the other way. So at least then with the weather radar switched on, we can actually see what's up there, and we can see that over there. So we're backtracking down the runway. We're going to turn around and then depart.
Vision Jet 469 Bravo Charlie, after departure, maintain runway heading, climb flight level 060. Wind 070 degrees, 10 knots, 10 clear for takeoff.
Cover the wind, on takeoff from 10, fly runway heading, climb initially, flight level 060, 469 Bravo Charlie, clear takeoff 10.
Okay, so the weather radar's looking ahead as we spin around.
Ground Delta
nice.
1806, ready for taxi. We have
Probes and strobes, and we're ready to go.
Delta 1806, taxi to hold point Alpha, hold short of runway 10.
Okay, ready?
Start of runway 10, Delta 1806.
Looks good. Going to full power.
Approach good day, Island Ways 314, requesting push and start.
Highways 314, push and start approved between Golf and Alpha, caution Boeing 739 taxiing to holding point Alpha.
Push and start approved between Golf and Alpha, copy taxing Alpha.
The gear's going up.
152, stand to go. Highways 152, wind 080 degrees, 09 knots, 10 clear to land. 10 clear to land, 152.
So we're climbing away, nothing on the weather radar in front of us, which is good, and it looks pretty clear out there as well. Nice, good takeoff.
Letting the SP build towards 165.
November 9 Bravo Charlie, airborne time 17, report passing 5,000 feet.
Report passing 5,000 feet, November 9 Bravo Charlie.
Okay, and I can go and CT. Okay, we did those things.
A few little clouds in front of us, nothing to worry about, but the colour of the sea here is just spectacular. Look at this amazing
now is 152, landing time 20.
Speaking to Miami now, we've been cleared to flight level 270, and we've been given a direct to Caicos, which is nice, because what that's doing for us with that direct to Caicos is actually pushed us just to the right hand side of this weather. So you can see this big blob of weather. I've moved the radar now to 4 degrees up as we're coming up towards 10,000 feet. And there's that weather out in front of us as well. So really, really good demonstration of how utilising the pitch. The tilt up on the radar is going to keep us clear of the weather. And in fact, if we look out the window, you can see that's just taking us past as well. So it's perfect.
Juliet Echo November Alpha 4. American 1454. And correction, JetBlue 1454.
So we've levelled off now at flight level 270, and we're heading south eastbound now. We've got Cuba just over here, Dominican Republic is just here, here's Puerto Rico, and if we zoom out just a little bit, there's our destination of St.Maarten, just down there. So just going to start thinking about our approach into St.Maarten. We're heading towards Slugo at the moment. I'm just going to tap on the procedure. We don't have the 80s at the moment, but we do have on the satellite weather that the wind is 010 degrees. They only have one approach, one direction of approach here, which is runway 10. We're going to choose the RNAV GNSS, and we can see here that it will come in via Slugo and then down. So I'll choose Slugo down here, and we can see that it comes in via Slugo at 2600, and it'll come down to the initial approach fix and intermediate fix at Avaki, and then it will come down the final approach track, descending down in from 2,600 down to 1,700. It's an LNAV with a CDFA, but I imagine that we'll have an LNAV plus V on the way down, so we will have some vertical guidance. And our minimas are 700 feet. So just getting ourselves prepped for the approach into St.Maarten.
JetBlue 2602 radar service terminated. Contact
we can add it into the system, and then it will overlay the approach plate on the map and give us really good reference and spatial awareness as to what we're doing when we get a bit closer.
907 JetBlue 2602.
So we're going to load that into the aircraft, so we're going to press the procedure button, push the approach. There we can see the RNAV runway 10 with LNAV plus V, and we're going to choose Avaki as our initial approach fix. Minimas, we've already discussed, are about 700 feet, so 700 can go in there, and we can enter that. We can have a little brief, and then we can load it, and then as we scroll down here we can see we got Avaki, then we got Lessor and Mapon, and then down to the missed approach at Mapon, and then on bed for the hold. So we can look at this very quickly. There we go, we got Avaki, Lessor, Mapon, and then the missed approach, climbing right turn to 4,000 feet, direct to on bed, and then hold or as directed. So great, got it all loaded in the system, ready to activate when we need to. Okay, we're just starting our descent. Got the vertical track, got flight level 270 down to flight level 110 by the time we're at Slugo. Just coming down with the British Virgin Islands just off to our right hand side. You can see some of the little islands down there, but it's a little bit cloudy, so not a great view. But as we come down, fortunately we don't really have much CB activity in front of us, a few little bits and pieces, but starting our descent very shortly.
Flight level 350, November 18, walk vector.
The 80s, I'm just going to turn the 80s on.
Tango 2200, RNAV, runway 10, approach in use, visual, approach, runway 10, available, on request, landing and departing, runway 10, wind 090 at 8 knots, visibility 10 kilometers, sky condition scattered at 1,600.
Turn right, direct Elora, India, Lima.
On the descent into Avaki, coming down to 4,000 feet. And it's a good track actually to avoid the weather, which we can see off to our right hand side.
Approach, altimeter 2990.
And you'll also see that on the weather radar as well. So looking good, down to Avaki.
469 Bravo Charlie, reduced to 170 knots.
Reduce speed to 170 knots, 469 Bravo Charlie.
Yeah, it's quite busy coming in here now, so been told to reduce our speed, which we're going to do. Final approach into St.Maarten, into Juliana Airport.
feet to minimums.
Great.
Slow down a little more here.
Iconic 501, reduce to 210 knots.
Reduce 210 knots, Iconic 50.
Mile from the final approach fix.
Just 23 Charlie Echo, contact Grand Cas, 119.
200 feet to minimum.
Okay, 92, so long, 2 Charlie Echo.
And I'd like to go full flaps. Are you good with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, full flaps going in.
Julian, we're not 541, requesting start up 540 over the station.
We're 541, we're going to Taurus, startup approved, report ready. Taxi, runway 10, information. Tango's current, altimeter 299.
Coming in, starting to slow down. We can see the famous beach in front of the runway.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Remember, Iconic 501 when passing flight level 70, turn right direct Elora, which is India, Lima, Oscar, Romeo Alpha.
Can you say Elora again? 501.
500.
India, Lima, Oscar, Romeo Alpha.
India, Lima, Oscar, Romeo Alpha, after 7,000 Iconic.
Autopilot's off.
Number 181 Quebec Sierra, descend to flight level 100.
100, November 181 Quebec Sierra.
Ground frontier flight.
A little low, bring some power.
Frontier flight 245, taxi short Charlie, runway 28, report ready for departure.
Charlie and short of 28 will advise ready, frontier flight 245.
Okay, fantastic. People on the beach.
And Tower, we don't have Elora in the database. Is there another fix that you can give us for Iconic 501?
Because Elora doesn't exist in the database.
181 Quebec Sierra, turn right and join it after passing Iconic 501, passing 70, join a 20 mile final.
Alright, we'll join a 20 mile final after passing 070 Iconic 501.
181 Quebec Sierra, descend to flight level 090.
Down to 090, November 189 Quebec Sierra.
Number 469 Bravo Charlie, vacate Echo, parking at the Charlie apron.
Vacate Echo and over to Charlie apron for the signature 469 Bravo Charlie.
Frontier flight 245 is ready, confirmed. Current on request, report ready to taxi, information Tango is current, altimeter 29901.
29901 with Tango, we'll call you ready to taxi and start up approval under 357.
Number 541 clearance.
Correct.
Station via direct, time to 4,000 feet, squawk 0166.
Alright, so clear station right.
Keep an eye on him.
Squawk 0166, 10541, ready for departure.
Frontier flight 245, runway 28, line up and wait.
Line up and wait 28, Frontier flight 245.
Number 181 Quebec Sierra, when passing flight level 070, turn right and join a 25 mile final.
Alright, wind down to 7,000, right turn, join 25 mile final, November 181 Quebec Sierra.
We were 541 after departure, turn left heading 150, runway 28, cleared for takeoff. From Echo, wind 09 at 5.
Alright, left turn heading 150 from Echo, runway 28, cleared for takeoff, wind 541.
Here we are, beautiful evening in St.Maarten. Sun's going down. Fortunately, the fuel guys were here, so we're just going to pick up some fuel this afternoon. But absolutely beautiful. There's the terminal, and you saw there on the video earlier on us coming across the iconic beach that comes in with all the people watching, so that was pretty cool. So I really enjoyed it. One of my bucket list airports to come to. So we're going to go off to the hotel now and have a relax. Time for a beer.